Hey, it's Marty here with Fix and Flip Hub. And for those of you who don't know me, my business partner, Manny Romero, and I, we fix and flip houses in Phoenix, Arizona and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And in this training video today, I wanted to explain to you how to put a fix and flip deal together without using your own money. All right. Now, a lot of gurus out there, real estate investment gurus, will tell you you can flip houses without your own money or without having any money. And that's absolutely true. Of course, you can flip houses without using your own money or without any money. But what they are talking about most of the time is wholesaling. Okay, so it's pretty simple how that works. If you're wholesaling a property, you find a distressed seller that's willing to sign a contract, a sales contract to you. Of course, inside that contract, you use language called and or assignees, which gives you control over the property because now you or your LLC has control over the house. You have a binding contract with the seller of the home. So now what you can do is go out and market that property to cash buyers. And in the event you find a cash buyer that wants to buy the property, you assign the contract to that cash buyer. There's usually what we call a double escrow process. And so the cash buyer buys the house from you, you buy it from the seller, the distressed seller, without, of course, any of your own money, and then you get paid, right? And either you get an assignment of contract fee or you just get the difference between what you agreed to pay the distressed seller of the house and what the cash buyer is going to pay you for the house. So that's how you do real estate or wholesaling without using any of your own money or not having any money, right? Well, when it comes to fixing and flipping houses, guess what? You have to actually have real cash in your bank account to fix and flip a house because you're not going to control the house. You are going to own the house. And when you own a house, of course, you're going to rehab the house. So you need money for the rehab of the property. And there's other holding costs as well. I mean, you're going to have a homeowner's insurance. You're going to have to pay property taxes on it while you own it. You're going to have utilities you're going to have to pay. So you need money to fix and flip houses in your bank account. Again, it doesn't have to be your own money, but you do need money to fix and flip houses. So that's what I want to talk about in this training here in the next 6-7 minutes is the 3 methods that Manny and I have used over the last 10 years together to fix and flip houses without using our own money legally. All right, so let me go ahead and show you here on the screen. The first approach that we use is called a hard money or plus, I should say hard money plus gap funding approach. So pretty simple, right? We find a distressed property. And when we first started out, we were buying houses at the courthouse steps. We were buying them at auction. So we buy a house for $100,000 at the county courthouse steps. And a hard money lender would lend us about $75,000 to buy it, about 75% of our purchase price for the house. Awesome. So $75,000 of our $100,000 is covered by the hard money lender. Now you're probably wondering, well, great, Marty, where do you get the $25,000 for the down payment? And where do you get the other $20,000, $30,000 you're going to need to rehab it? Well, that's where gap funding comes in. What we did is we found a lender, a gap funding lender, to give us the difference, to give us the $25,000 that we needed for the down payment and the $25,000, $30,000 we needed for the rehab. We were able to borrow that from a gap funding investor. Now, gap funding investors aren't out there online. They're not growing on trees. This requires some legwork on your part. You're going to have to go out, do some networking, talk to family members, friends, shop your deal around to see who'd be interested in being a gap funding lender. Now, they could be a lender or they could be an equity partner. What we did is we would give our gap funding lender, we would give them a promissory note, so a mortgage on or a note on the house, and then we give them a mortgage or a deed of trust, and we put them in second lien position behind the hard money lender. Hard money lenders are always going to want to be in first lien position. So to secure our gap funding lender, we would record a second deed of trust or mortgage on the house and sign a promissory note to them for the money so they were secured. That's one way to do it. You could also offer that gap funding lender an equity position in the deal. You could say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a 10% return on your money and I'm going to give you 20% of the profit or something like that. So there's a lot of ways to kind of give that gap funding investor or lender a little bit more motivation for giving you the money to put your deal together. But that's up to you and how well you're willing to negotiate. People ask me, how much profit should I give my equity partner, my gap funding equity partner? And I'm like, well, whatever they is the least amount they're willing to accept, right? So that's one way to do it. Now, we put these gap funding together deals again, usually with some kind of a promissory note and a separate agreement when they want an equity partnership that says, hey, you're going to get X amount of the profit from the deal. And we usually, most of the time we were doing these, when we first started out, we were recording those mortgages or deeds of trust and notes. And when we got a little bit more track record, a lot of these lenders were just willing to give us an unsecured promissory note to our company, along with a separate agreement that said, hey, we're going to give you a percentage of the profit. So that's the first way we started, the first way we did it when we first started working together in 2009, when both of us were broke and just coming out of bankruptcy, right? Now, another way to do it is to form an LLC with an equity partner. So say you got somebody who's got $150,000-$200,000 and they want to invest in a fix and flip deal with you. Well, you could say, hey, let's start an LLC together. I'll be the managing member of that LLC. You can be the member of the LLC. We'll create the LLC. We'll take your $200,000. We'll put it in the LLC. We'll open up a bank account for the LLC, and that LLC will go out and buy real estate. As the managing member of the LLC, you of course have the ability to analyze deals, write offers on properties, move money around in the bank account when you need to buy the house, write checks to contractors when you're rehabbing it. And in the operating agreement of the LLC, this is all spelled out. And then when the house sells, the equity partner gets whatever you guys negotiate, 20, 30, 40% of the profit, and then you get the rest. And the LLC writes a check out for that. The LLC writes a check to the equity investor for their profit, and the LLC writes a check to you or to your other LLC for your profit, okay? And again, use an operating agreement to set that up. When I was doing these LLC deals with my equity partners, I would make them 100% owner of the property itself. So they would own the property, the asset, and all the cash in the LLC's bank account. The only thing I was entitled to as the managing member of the LLC was the profit that deal created. All right, so that gave that equity partner a lot of comfort. They're like, hey, I own an LLC with my managing member partner, but I own the asset. I have all the cash. That's mine. And the only thing I'm giving up inside this LLC is the profit in the deal. So that's another way to put fix and flip deals together without using your own money, is to form an LLC with an equity partner. Okay. Once the LLC has been created, then you can open up a bank account for the LLC. Then your equity partner wires in the money, $150,000, $200,000, however much it is. Now you, as the managing member of that LLC, can go out and write offers on properties with that LLC, and you've got proof of funds because you've got the money in the bank account. All right, so that's a second way of doing it, and that's how Manny and I kind of transitioned out of hard money plus gap funding. We transitioned into doing LLCs with our equity partners. Then we had all the money we needed in one company and one bank account. We didn't have to have a hard money lender and an equity partner, so we transitioned out of that. And now what we do, pretty much we've been doing for the last 5 years, is we just borrow money from private money lenders. Now, private money lenders are different than hard money lenders. Private money lenders are usually just individuals, friends, family, high net worth individuals, people you meet at networking events, church, business functions, right? And these are just people who want to get into real estate. They want to fund deals, but they're not really interested in being an equity partner or any of that other shit. They just want to lend money. So, and that's where we've raised almost $2 million of private money to do our deals. And the way this works is it's very simple. We find a deal, right, that looks good. We write an offer on that property. We get it under contract, and then we go to our private money lender and we say, hey, do you want to fund this deal? We need $100,000 to buy it and $50,000 to rehab it. Will you give us the money? Will you lend us the money? And we create a nice little package. We give them all the information about the property, and then they say yes or no. Yeah, we'll fund it, or no, we're not interested. Okay, and then if they are interested and they want to fund the deal, what we do is they send the money, their $150,000, to the title company, right? And then after the house closes, the seller of the house gets their $100,000. That gets wired to the seller of the home. And then that $50,000 extra, guess who gets that money? I get it. That gets wired into my bank account. Now I have the $50,000 I need to rehab the property and get it on the market and get it sold. So that's kind of the last and my very favorite way of funding fix and flip deals without our own money. And these private money loans, we usually are borrowing at about 8 to 10%. So hard money loans are usually much higher, 12, 15, 18%. So again, this was a process for us. We kind of evolved through this from hard money to gap funding to an LLC agreement with an equity partner to just strictly private money loans. And the reason I like private money loans is because I'm just paying a set percentage to the lender. That's it. I know every single time I'm just paying 8% on the money, and I'm going to get all the money I need. But of course, here's the key to all of this, okay? None of this is going to work for you if you don't have a good deal, right? The key to fixing and flipping houses without your own money is not having people that you know can lend you money or fund your deals. Forget about worrying about any of that stuff right now. You need to get good at finding good deals and being able to analyze them quickly and putting them together and presenting them in the right way to investors and lenders. And so with that, I've actually got a webinar right now that we're running. So in the description of this video, go down and click on that link on the webinar that we're running right now. And in that webinar, we're going to teach you how to find great deals in your market and how to present those deals to investors and lenders so you don't need to use your own money to fix and flip houses. Sound good? All right, so be sure to go and check out that webinar. Again, the link is in the description of the video. And I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub. Thanks for watching.